friends, welcome back. In Jamaica Kingdom, today it was fun to join the Indaba. The new word I learned today was habari, which is the Swahili word for news. Right now, we are about to start the amazing African animal adventure afternoon.
It is Wednesday, July 21. I am Koa and I am one of your co-hosts today.
Good afternoon from me. I am Naeema and Yes, welcome back for those who are near and far away.
I wonder what cool discoveries we will make today. We do have another great story written by Pastor Dick and told by our Be Ready puppets, plus another Zoofari.
Right now, Pastor Shirley, our Oregon Conference Children's Ministry Director, is ready to share with you. Pastor Shirley, what animal have you chosen today?
Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome back. And I am so glad this morning that I have time to tell you something about elephants. What do you know about elephants? We all know that elephants can be dangerous. But here's a surprising fact about elephants. Elephants know how to share with each other. Elephants travel in herds. They mainly eat leaves from bushes and trees. Sometimes the only leaves to eat are found up high on tall trees. The leaves may be out of reach for the smaller elephants, though. When this is the case, the larger elephants knock down the trees so that the smaller ones can eat. This is their way of sharing with each other and caring for the smaller members of the herd. If the bigger elephants wanted to, they could eat the leaves off a tall tree and have all the food for themselves. But they understand how important it is to share. After Jesus went back to heaven and God's family began to grow, Jesus' followers became well known for their sharing too. In Acts chapter 2, verses 44 to 46, it says, all the believers were together. They shared everything they had. They sold property and other things they owned. They gave to anyone who needed something. Every day they met together in the temple courtyard. They ate meals together in their homes. Their hearts were glad and sincere. They shared everything, their homes, their clothes, even the food on their tables. If wealthy people saw others in need, they sold what they had and gave it to the needy people. No one forced them to share. They chose to. Sometimes it isn't easy to share, but sharing is a way to show we love and obey God. Just like the bigger elephants share with the smaller ones, God wants us to share with the smaller ones. God wants us to share with those in need. Thank you for listening, boys and girls. And don't forget to take out your elephant sheet. Did you check out the fun facts yesterday? Have a look.
Thank you, Pastor Shirley, for reminding us that we need to share. Not just with our family and friends, but those who have needs like food or shelter.
I know I will look at elephants differently from now on. They remind us that we should share with those in need, just like the first Christians did. Have you been able to draw an elephant before? You will be able to by the end of this time.
Remember, you will need a paper, pencil, a pen, or a black marker. Get them out now and have them ready.
Welcome back, kids, for another animal drawing session. I've got my pencil and my pen here and my paper. And today we're going to be drawing an elephant like you just learned about. So elephants, as you just learned, like to share. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you how to draw an elephant. So just like before, we are going to start, just like we did with a line, we're going to start with a line down here at the bottom. It's about that big. A little bit from the bottom. Doesn't have to be too far. And then, to start with the elephant, we're going to start with a big round oval. So coming up a little bit from the bottom line, we're going to draw a big oval because elephants are really big and really round. Nice big oval, and there we go. And now we can start with the legs. So we're going to start with the back legs like we did with the lion. And we're going to start back here, right about here, and we're going to draw an oval coming down. Just like that. And then from that oval, right below it, we're going to draw a big rectangle coming down, almost to the bottom, but not quite. And elephants have really big, strong legs, so we're going to keep it nice and thick. A nice big rectangle, just like that. And then at the bottom, we're going to draw 2 lines coming out like that. And then where it meets, where these 2 lines meet the bottom line, we're just going to round it off a little bit. Just a little bit like that. And now we have the base for our leg. So we're just going to go and we are going to smooth it out like we did the elephant. Make it one solid piece. So we're going to go with the elephants, the legs, instead of going over their belly, they actually go under their belly. So if their belly is right here, it's going to go right under it. So we're only going to take the line to the belly, just like that. And then bring it down. And this one we're going to connect the oval to the first big oval. Smooth it out so everything is nice and solid. Just like that. And then we're going to draw 2 little bumps on its foot to show its big toenails, because elephants have very big toenails. All right, so there is the first leg done. And now we're going to work on the second leg. So just to the left of the first oval that we did here, we're going to make another oval the exact same size. We're just going to move it over a little bit. So making another oval right next to the first one. Right there, keeping it the same size. Just like that. And then we're going to draw another rectangle, just like before. Same size, same shape, just like that. We're basically making a copy of our first leg. And then, but this time, we're going to just do 1 line coming off like that, because you're not going to see the back one, so we're not going to draw that one. We're just going to do 1 line coming off at an angle like that from the bottom of the rectangle. Right at the corner of the rectangle, just 1 line out like that. And then we're going to curve the bottom of it, just like that. And then we're going to smooth everything out. Make it one solid piece, just like before. But since we're only seeing the front, we're only going to do the front part. And then we're going to draw 2 little bumps like before to show the big toenails. Just like that. All right, and there's our back legs done. Super easy, super fast. Now we're going to work on the front legs. So moving on to the front of the elephant, we are going to start with a circle. So back here we did an oval. Up here we're going to do a circle. Right here. So the circle is just about the size of a penny. Right there. Just a little bit in front of the back legs. And then, like before, we're going to draw a big rectangle coming down. But this time we're going to stop a little bit shorter than back here. We're going to stop about that far away from the line. Keeping it nice, keeping the rectangle nice and big because they have big, strong legs. And then at the bottom of the rectangle, we're going to draw a big oval. Because elephants have a big joint right there. That's very visible. So we're going to draw a nice big oval right there to show the big joint. All right. And then, like the feet back here, we're going to draw 2 lines coming off the bottom of the oval, just like that. And then, like before, we're just going to round off the bottom on both sides, just like that. And then, like we did with the last ones, we're just going to smooth everything out. Down where you come to the joint at the bottom, you're going to, at the front, you're going to follow the joint and come around like that. On the back, you're just going to go straight up. Just like that. And feel free to pause anytime if you want to go a little slower. That's okay. All right, and then we're going to draw the 2 little toes at the front. Just like that. And there is our first front leg done. And now we're going to do the last one. So we're going to do another circle, same size, moving just a little bit to the left of the one we did before. Make another circle, same size, same shape, just moving it a little to the left. And then we're going to draw another rectangle. This time, we're going to make the rectangle come out a little bit. So instead of going straight down, we're going to make it come out a little bit. So we're just going to draw a rectangle, same size as this one here. Angled out a little bit. Just like that. And then like before, we're going to draw another big oval at the bottom of it. So to show that big joint. And then 2 little lines coming off. So we're going to have one coming off like that and one coming off basically straight down. And then you're going to draw a curve at the bottom, a big curve this time, going down to the bottom line. And then we're going to curve the back just a little bit, just like that. And now we're going to smooth everything out, just like before. Again, on the front of the leg, we're going to add the big curve where the joint is going into the foot. But the back, we're just going to keep straight. Just like that. And then 2 big toenails in the front. And then we have our legs done. And now we're going to move on to the head, which is where it gets complicated. So watch carefully. So at the very front of the big oval we had before, we're going to do another big oval. Not as big as this one here, but a little bigger than these ones back here. Just about that big. And notice how my oval is at an angle. We're not doing it just up and down or side to side. We're doing it a little bit at an angle. Just like that. All right. And then, let's see. At the front of elephants, at the very front of their head, they have a little bump. So we're just going to draw that. So like coming off just a little bit down from the top, we're going to draw a little bump at the front of their head, just like that. Ta-da! All right, and then we're going to follow it down the oval and come basically straight down off the oval. Down right to basically just a little next to this joint, a little bit above it. And then we're going to curve it back around towards the leg and stop right there. All right, and now we're going to do the other side. So right here we're drawing the trunk, if you haven't figured that out. So moving a little next to the first line that we did, we're going to come like this, and we're going to be tapering it down so it becomes skinnier as you come down. Go like this, and then a little bit above this line down here. We're going to curve around just like that. And then we're just going to draw a little C shape right there. Just like that. And there we have the trunk done. Easy peasy. All right, and now an elephant wouldn't be very much of an elephant without tusks, right? So we're going to draw the tusks. So right next to this line right here from the trunk, we are going to draw a rectangle going over it. Just like that. So that the trunk line is right in the middle of the rectangle. And then from that rectangle, notice my rectangle is at an angle like before. And then from that rectangle, we're going to draw some curvy lines coming out in front of the elephant. Just like that. And you can make your tusks as big as you want or as small as you want. I think I'm going to make mine about that big. And then you're going to go back to the rectangle, and from the other corner, you're going to make a curve that follows along the first one, coming up to the tip of it and connecting at the very end, just like that. And then if we move up the trunk a little bit, starting about right there, we're going to make 2 more curves that only meet to the trunk. Just like that. We're going to make another tusk right there. And there are the tusks. All right. Now, let's draw the nice big ear. So, if you didn't know, the way you can tell the difference between an African elephant and an Asian elephant is by their ears and where they live, of course. But in a picture, their ears, the African elephant has really big ears, whereas the Asian elephant has smaller ears. Today I'm going to be drawing an African elephant, but if you'd like, you can draw an Asian elephant, but I'm going to do an African elephant. So I'm going to make really big ears. So starting from just a little back from the top of the head, I'm going to draw a line coming out. Not straight out, but just a little bit down. And then from where I started, I'm going to draw a straight line down, just like that. And then I'm going to draw another line that connects those two, just like that. And that's going to be starting a shape for our ear. We're not going to leave it like this. We're going to take the top line and we're going to kind of curve it out at the very end, just like that. So it's a little more curved. And then we're going to curve the front part too. So where we drew straight down on the triangle, we're just going to make that into a little curve, starting a little down from the top, about there or so. We're going to make a little curve going out like that. And there we go. There's the basic shape for our ear. And then just like that. And then we can erase a little bit so we can see that little bit between the top of the head and the start of the ear. Right there. We're just going to erase that a little bit because we're going to draw a little line going right like this, coming off just a little bit from the front of the ear and moving back towards the corner of the triangle. Just a little line right there. And that is our ear basically done. We can now erase this little corner bit right here that we don't need. And there we go. And we can add some little lines coming out from the side of his ear, just like that. And bring it down just a little bit. And there we go. There's our ear, all done. And now we're just going to add some little finishing touches. So, starting here, we're going to add his little neck. It comes down right there, right next to the tusk. We're just going to draw a little curve going down to make his little neck. And then moving straight up from that, we're going to draw a little curve, a little upside down curve like that, and a little circle in the middle to make his eye. Just like that. And then we've got his nice head right here. And then we'll do the back and the tail. So for the back, we're going to come off the ear, just like that, move straight back. And then right above his hind legs, he has a big bump on his back, just like that. So we're going to connect from this side of his back to the bump with basically a straight line. And then we're going to connect from the bump down to the top of his leg in the back, right there. Just like that. And then from there, we're going to draw his tail. So starting from right here in the middle, we're going to draw his tail. And it's a long, skinny tail. Comes down about that far. And then we're going to, where we started the tail, we're just going to move down a little bit. And we're going to draw another line right next to it, connecting at the bottom. And then at the very bottom of the tail, we're going to draw a little upside down tear shape. Just like that. And now our sketch is done. And now we can outline it with our pen. So again, I have my pen. And you can use any kind of pen. You can use a ballpoint pen, a fancy pen, or even a marker. So I'm going to start on the front of his head, right here. And I'm just going to outline everything. Now, just like with the lion, we're not going to be outlining the circles and ovals that we did before. We're just going to be doing the very outside lines and the little details. So I'm going to start with his trunk. And on his trunk, I'm going to add some little lines at the front. Just like that. And then I'm going to his tusks, starting with this little bit right here. And then outlining the rest of his tusk. And feel free to pause if you want to take a little more time outlining. That is all okay. I'm going to do his little eye. And back up to his head. And you can outline this in any order you want. I'm just doing it this way. I'm going to go into his ear, outline his ear, just like that, and the little details of the ear, like the little lines coming off from the side, just like that. And then I'm going to do his neck, down to his chest, and then his legs. So here's the first leg. Now when it comes down to this little joint, we're just going to outline this joint, but we're going to bring it in just a little bit like that. We're just going to follow the oval just a little bit at the bottom. And then I'm going to do his foot, back up his leg, and again on the very back, we're just going to keep it straight on the back. The front has the bump, the back is all straight. And we're going to do the toes, just like that. And I like to add some little wrinkles to the little joint right there. Alright, moving on to the second leg. Do the same thing as we did with the first one. Coming around the joint like that, just a little bit. And then down to his foot. And then back up the back of his leg, keeping it straight. Alright, and then we're going to draw the two little toes. And there we go, we have his front legs. And we're going to do some little wrinkles too, just like that. Then we're going to do his big belly, just like that. Remember going over the back legs. And then we're going to do the back legs, going down like that, down around his foot, and then two little bumps. And then the second one. And up the very back. Alright, and then continuing back up the leg, and around to the back. Up and over the bump, and connecting to the ear. And then we're going to do his tail. And then the little tuft at the bottom. And there we go. And then the last thing we're going to do is just erase all of our pencil lines. Just like before, the pen won't be erased, but the pencil will. So we'll end up with just a beautiful outline of our elephant. Now I'm being pretty quick with erasing this, but you can take as long as you want. Erasing the back legs. Oh, I missed a spot. Forgot to do the little toes. And then erase, erase, erase. And then brush away the last little bits. And there we go, our elephant is done. And just like before, we're gonna add our signature. Just like that, to show it's our elephant. And there we go. I hope you have a good rest of your evening, and I will see you next time.
That was tremendous fun. You made it so easy for us to draw an elephant. Thank you for teaching us more about God's creation, the elephant.
Yesterday we went on our first Zoofari. Here we go again.
In a moment, we are going to visit Wildlife Safari in Winston, Oregon. Wildlife Safari is home to over 600 animals from approximately 100 different species. Hang on to your Jeep, and whatever you do, don't get out of your vehicle.
Hi everyone, welcome to Wildlife Safari and welcome down to the Elephant Barn. My name is Gabby, I'm one of the elephant trainers here. But I know you did not come here to meet me, you came here to meet an elephant. And today you're going to meet one of our lovely ladies. Her name is Moja, and this is how Moja likes to say hello to you guys. Welcome you down to the Elephant Barn. So there are two types of elephants in the world. There are African elephants and there are Asian elephants. And Moja's got an African elephant, and you can tell that from her big old ears, if you can see them there. If you look at the outline of her ears, it kind of looks like the continent of Africa, sort of like a built-in cheat sheet for you. Asian elephants would have much, much smaller ears. Moja's going to say a very loud welcome. Make sure she has all your attention. Got to wind up a little bit. There we go. So she just want to make sure she had all your attention. So Moja is our youngest elephant here at Wildlife Safari. She is 38 years old. She is also the smallest elephant we have here. She's about 7 feet tall and a little over 6,000 pounds. But don't let that small body fool you. She's got lots of personality. And she's also really smart. I'm sure you guys know that elephants are very smart. And so they know, our girls know between 50 to 60 different verbal behaviors or commands. And the bulk of those are called husbandry behaviors, so things that help us take care of the elephant, such as picking up her feet here. This allows us to take a look at the bottom of her feet and do any footwork that we need. And she wants to make sure we can see all 4 of her feet here. This is also a great form of exercise for the elephants, to pick those legs up really high. Like I said, she is 38 years old, so we want to make sure that her joints are nice and limber and that she's got good muscle tone. But we also like to teach the elephants new things and some fun things. So Moja's going to do another little bit of showing off. She knows how to paint, she knows how to dance, but she's also going to play a little bit of a song for you guys. Awesome. A very enthusiastic jam for you guys today. So that's really fun for you guys to see. It's fun for Moja to do, but it actually plays a really big part of taking care of them. So it's really important that we're able to touch every piece and part of Moja, including her nose. Elephants are very protective of their nose or their trunk. They're not just going to hand it to anybody. But you see that Emily is able to grab a hold of that. Moja actually hands her nose to her, and she can kind of hold it and kind of move it around. That's a great demonstration of trust between elephant and trainer. And we build that trust in a lot of fun ways, such as playing the harmonica and also through painting. She's going to do a little demonstration of painting today. So African elephants actually have 2 fingers on the end of their trunk, one on top, one on bottom. You can kind of see them there. Emily's just showing you for you. And so when she holds the sponge that has a little bit of paint on it, she's able to pinch her that sponge just like that. And then away she goes. Awesome. Okay, first 2 colors. Ooh, really nice. Moja is a full coverage elephant painter. She really likes to cover the entire canvas. Looks like a little dash of gold here. Wow, that's really pretty. Okay, great job, Moja. Like I said, Moja likes to cover the entire canvas with paint. She's very particular about that. All three of our elephants actually have a different painting style. So if you're around long enough, you can tell a Moja painting from a Valerie painting from a Tava painting. We have 3 African elephants here at Wildlife Safari, 3 ladies, a bit of a girls club. Moja is our youngest at 38. Valerie's in the middle, she's 39, and our oldest elephant is Tava. Tava's 43. So she's gonna do a little bit more painting here. A really great form of something called enrichment for the elephants. It's just a fancy word of calling it a game or a puzzle. So when we taught the elephants how to paint, we just really taught them how to hold the sponge and touch the sponge to the canvas. And after that, they were really able to let the elephants be creative and kind of express themselves and paint how they want to. So like I said, they all have a little bit of a different painting style. And Moja does love to paint. She'd do this all day if we let her. She has about a ½ acre of land in this yard. We have 7 acres of land all to the elephants, and right now Moja's in our bottom yard here by the barn. So she could be out eating hay, she could be over talking to the other girls, but she loves to do encounters and meet new people and have her picture taken, so she's happy to be here and participate. Ooh, that's a bright one, that's nice. Looks like we're gonna get a dash of pink in here. So elephants can see colors, just like you and I can, but they can see warm colors such as red, orange, and yellow a little bit better than they can see the cool color. So every time you get a very pink, or there we go, some bright colors, they get very excited about that, and they usually have very enthusiastic paint strokes. Okay, now Moja's shown off a little bit. We can come over here. I got a table of some stuff to talk to you guys about. We're gonna let her eat a snack. Awesome. There's a little bit of a table set out here with just some different things. I'll kind of come over to the painting a little bit. So you guys saw Moja do a brush painting with those sponges, but we do a lot of different kinds of artwork. So this is called a footprint painting. So all of the elephants are trained to put their foot up on one of our bars, and we put a little bit of paint on there, and then we stamp the canvas on. And so this is actually Moja's foot. So she's got her smallest feet here. And then next to her is one of our big elephants. This is Tava's foot. So you can really see the difference in size just because they are bigger. Tava's a little bit of a bigger elephant. We also do something called a trunk kiss. So we put a little bit of elephant safe paint on the end of their nose. And then the elephant kisses the canvas, which is pretty unique. It's also cool because just like kind of our fingerprints and our faces, all of the elephants have different shaped noses. So this is Moja. Moja's got a really small, really rounded nose, kind of looks like a perfect circle. Tava here has got our biggest nose. She's got a big old nose, pretty rounded all around. And then finally, Valerie's got a more triangular nose. A little bit slimmer, but much, much taller than the other two, which is pretty unique. So when we do painting or any of our training, we feed the elephants a produce. So these are a couple of Moja's favorite foods. She loves bananas and oranges and apples, sweet potatoes and carrots, and then a little bit of celery. Our elephants eat 200 pounds of food every single day. Most of that diet is hay. They get about 175 pounds of hay every day. But then they get produce when we're doing training or encounters like we're doing right now. Just a little bit of a sweet snack for her. Our barn favorite is definitely watermelon. Our elephants love a good watermelon. The girls can all eat one of the personal size watermelons by themselves in one bite, which is pretty cool. So we have a couple other artifacts here. So this is actually a tooth. So you guys might not know this, but elephants have 4 teeth in their mouth at one time, 1 on each side, top and bottom. They get 6 sets of teeth in their lifetime, and when they're ready to get a new set of teeth, what happens is they have something called marching molars. So they don't lose a whole tooth at once like you and I do. What happens is when the new tooth is coming in, it pushes from the back of the jaw forward, and as that new tooth is coming in, bits of the old tooth chip off. So this is a chip of Moja's tooth. She's getting a new set in. And we find them in the yard. Some of the elephants will hand them to us when they lose it to kind of tell them what they did while we were out. And it's just really cool. So again, they get 6 sets of teeth in their lifetime. Their teeth are about the size of a house brick. So definitely a lot of chewing power in here. I also have a tusk, a piece of a tusk trim. So you guys might have noticed when we were looking at Moja that she's got some really short, flat tusks. Tusks are actually modified incisors, so they're kind of like our teeth. They have a nerve that runs through them. And tusks also grow about 1 to 3 inches every year. So if they were long and pointy, like a sharp pencil, they'd be more likely to crack. And if they crack into that nerve cavity, that'd be like if we cracked a tooth. It'd probably be pretty painful. It wouldn't feel very good. So we're all about prevention here at the Elephant Barn. So all of our girls are trained for tusk trims. Are totally awake for it. They get lots of their favorite fruit. And we take an x-ray, a radiograph of their tusks, see where the nerve ends, give them a couple inches of wiggle room, and then we just take a couple inches off. This is actually from 2019, so a long time ago. And again, we just take a couple inches off. They love their tusk trims. They get a lot of food for it. They just sit there. We do all the work. Mojo will fall asleep on you while you're doing it, so she'll snore in your ear while you're working on her tooth. And again, that's just a preventative measure to make sure their tusks stay nice and healthy. You guys might not know this, but African elephants or any elephants can be a right or left tusk, just like we're right or left-handed. So if you're going through the park and you see an elephant with one tusk a little bit shorter, that's because that's the tusk they use the most. And they use their tusks for a lot of different things. They use them to push down trees. Elephants love to eat whole trees. They eat the bark, the leaves, the woody material. So those tusks help them push down the trees. Boys will use them for sparring to kind of roughhouse and wrestle with each other. They also use them for digging or for eating their hay on the go. But like I said, our girls are a little bit rough and tumble, so they got a lot of shorter tusks around here. But while we're talking about tusks, I do want to talk about something really important to us down here at the Elephant Barn, and that's called conservation. So you guys might not know this, but we've actually lost 100,000 African elephants due to ivory poaching in the last 10 years, which is the killing of elephants for their tusks, just like these. Which is pretty sad because elephants are pretty cool. But it's not all doom and gloom. Down here at Wildlife Safari, we have what's called a conservation fund. $1 from every encounter goes into the conservation fund. We support a lot of local and global conservation organizations. And one of them is called the International Elephant Foundation. They do amazing work with elephants all over. One project we like to talk about, because we have African elephants, is called the Mounted Kenyan Horse Patrol. So these are guys on horseback in Kenya that follow elephants 24/7, protecting them from poachers. So that's really cool that you guys are helping out Moja's cousins, her wild cousins, out in Africa. So I hope you guys had a great time down here. We enjoyed having you. Moja loves the attention, and we hope that you come visit us sometime. Bye.
I've learned so much about God's amazing elephants today.
And now for one of our last treats, written for us especially by Pastor Dick Duerksen, who just loves telling stories. Today's story is about Anthony and the elephants. Our Be Ready puppets come to us all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Thank you.
Today we are going to visit with some elephants. Are you ready?
Yes, yes! Are they dangerous, Ranger Tracy?
Yes, elephants are dangerous, but they are also very intelligent. Sometimes it seems like they can read our minds.
I heard an elephant story one time about a man who was very brave, and when he met a herd of elephants who were mean and rough and dangerous.
Elephants are so big. I think I would be too afraid to get close to them.
That's how Mr. Anthony felt about elephants too. Then the local rangers asked him if he would be willing to help rescue a herd of very nasty and dangerous beasts.
Why did they need to be rescued?
Here's the story. Nana and her herd had been chased by hunters, and so they decided to chase people whenever they could. That included tearing up gardens, running through houses, and chasing after farmers. Everyone was afraid of them.
So did the rangers want to shoot them just for being mean?
No, the rangers wanted to rescue them. That's why they went to Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Anthony had just purchased a large farm, Tula Tula they called it, a place that was big enough for a herd of rogue elephants to live without giving anyone trouble.
When the rangers asked Mr. Anthony to take the huge beasts, he and his wife had a long conversation about what they should do. They decided they were being called to do something very special at Tula Tula, so they agreed and put up a tall metal fence around part of their field. Then they helped the rangers capture the herd and bring them to their new home.
It was a safe place for bad elephants to live.
True, but the elephants were not happy about the change. They didn't want to be in a fenced place, even though it was a large park. They wanted to be free to wander wherever they chose.
Mr. Anthony must have been really brave to let those elephants live in his fields.
Very brave, Rachel. Especially when the elephants chose to break down the fence, trample down his gardens, and then run away toward a nearby village.
They were still bad elephants. Now the rangers were unhappy again.
True. And now the rangers wanted to just shoot the escaped elephants. They had given up and just wanted to get rid of them.
Did Mr. Anthony let them do that?
No! In the story I heard, Mr. Anthony worked with the rangers to catch all the elephants again and bring them back to his farm.
You're right, Adam. Mr. Anthony built a new fence, taller and stronger. Then he did the most brave thing of his whole life. He drove his truck out toward the big Tula Tula field and parked just outside the fence. Then he set up a tent and rolled out his sleeping bag.
I don't think that was a safe place to camp.
Wow! If he was a really brave man, I'll bet he tried to make friends with those dangerous elephants.
After he set up his camp, he stood just outside the fence and talked to Nana and the other elephants all afternoon.
And all evening?
And all night?
And all the next day?
Rachel, that man, Mr. Anthony, stood out there and talked to us all day and night for 10 days and nights. He sang music to us, and he played his fiddle and his harmonica and his trumpet. And all the time he was telling us that he loved us and that we were safe with him.
Thanks for joining us, Nana. What did you think about Mr. Anthony's singing?
His singing was okay, but what we liked most was his calm, quiet voice. He made us feel safe, even though some in the herd wanted to break down the fence and stomp on him.
You were strong enough to do that.
But Mr. Anthony was too brave to stomp on.
On the 10th morning, after Mr. Anthony woke up and began singing to the elephant herd, he saw Nana walking right over to the fence.
That morning, I knew for sure we could trust him, so I walked right over to the fence and trumpeted, really friendly like this. I wanted him to come close.
When Nana trumpeted, she also put her long trunk way up over the fence and down toward Mr. Anthony.
Like she wanted to shake hands.
Oh, wow!
From that morning on, the elephants changed from being rebels to being Mr. Anthony's friends.
Even though he now went home at night, he still sang to us and talked kindly to us each day. We loved to hear his voice because that reminded us we had a very brave friend who would always take good care of us.
Mr. Anthony brought many other animals to his game farm: antelopes, kudus, anteaters, wildebeest, giraffes, and even a family of rhinoceroses.
But he always loved the elephants the best.
Can I tell you one other thing about Mr. Anthony? Several years later, we heard that Mr. Anthony was very sick. That made us so sad. And I got our entire herd to come from far across Tula Tula to be with Mr. Anthony.
Mr. Anthony's heart gave out that day, and all of the elephants were there for his funeral.
In fact, every year for the last 8 years, on the anniversary of the day Mr. Anthony died, Nana brings all her elephant family to the fence.
It gives us another chance to say thank you to the bravest friend we've ever had.
Thanks for doing that, Nana. Can we be your friend too?
Oh, yes!
Jesus helps us to be brave in difficult situations. We hope you can join us tomorrow. Let's thank Jesus for his amazing creation. Dear Jesus, Thank you that you remind us that you love us and that we learned a lesson from the elephants. Amen.
Amen.
See you next time.
Bye.